How you doing, y'all? Matt Massa Beers here, back with a little bit of West Coast jams up in this piece. Ecliptic. This would be their LIGO. I like that name. Don't know what it means. Probably has to do with something with the universe. Ecliptic. They did the whole planetary vibes. Ecliptic Brewing, LIGO West Coast IPA. It's pour some space in your face, son. That's what it says on here. LIGO is our take on a West Coast IPA with a firm yet modern hop character. Citrus berry and tropical notes are complemented by dankness and pine. This began, if y'all can see, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, Ecliptic sends off these jams. They send off quite a bit of stuff. Actually, I have some stuff in my fridge from them when I took my hiatus, but they're big, burly, kind of stouty kind of things. This one actually arrived last week, so I figured I'd dive into it. I'm about to do an unboxing. Figured, let's crack a beer. Do a quick beer review before the unboxing. Usually I like to, because my unboxings typically come up like pretty impromptu. And by that I mean like, it's not like I plan them, like put something up on the old Facebooks or YouTubes or whatever, kind of telling people that really does look like a West Coast IPA. It probably looks a little bit darker. Maybe if I go like right here, maybe it looks a bit, but yeah, a little darker on camera than what it actually is. But anyway, usually I kind of post them and then go live immediately. I should probably post that I'm going to be doing an unboxing and give people time to kind of notice that I'm going to do it so they can come and watch. It's called science. So that's what we're doing here. But yeah, it has that rich kind of amber glow to it. There's a soft haze to it, not too crazy. I mean, you wouldn't call it a hazy IPA, but by old school standards, specifically old school West Coast IPA standards, definitely hazy. And a pinky finger of a nice white head on it. So I spill stuff everywhere. The nose knows. It really does have this kind of light piney berry thing going on, so I really do give them kudos for that, because this berry kind of component, this kind of almost like little, it's not confectionery berry, it's kind of like blueberries from cereal, but not as sweet as that, with a nice big kind of cereal graininess, which probably leads me into that direction. And then you have this kind of nice piney but not over the top super danky West Coastiness. It smells like it's going to come off as softer on the mouthfeel as opposed to crisp and clean, but you're going to get that kind of nice kind of West Coast piney, probably a bit more bittering than even the nose would lead you to believe, with this soft kind of berry notes, a little bit of new school, decent helping of old school, and that mouthfeel I think is really going to drive this beer into the direction of what it is. This is kind of like a new school West Coast IPA that's taken a lot of influence from East or vice versa, but the nose actually smells quite nice. Yeah, let's dive in. Cheers, all. Okay. That went a completely different direction than I thought I was going to be. Sure, it's bitter. It's West Coast. Very dry. Not a big sweetness here. So I really do dig on that. Really soft, creamy mouthfeel. So you have those West Coast hops. You do have that piney, kind of leaning more into kind of resiny kind of West Coast hops, but it is immediately followed by this bursting of berry. Like I said, it's not, better, rather than blueberry, which it kind of reminds me of that freeze-dried, or you know what I mean, that kind of dehydrated, freeze-dried kind of berry. That's the way it kind of comes off, and it's really, really big. It's absolutely 100% the mover and shaker, the driver of this beer. Technically, the West Coast kind of bitterness and the resininess is a larger, more sharp component, I should say. Sharp, not larger, sharp, but that berry component is larger. So while it's a more rounded, not as aggressive flavor, you can tell it's definitely driving the kind of driving the bus here when it comes to the actual kind of hop leader in the clubhouse. There's all kinds of analogies and sayings and all that kind of stuff going on, but that West Coast is undeniable. You throw in a really, really soft, almost silky like mouthfeel, and a really nice kind of old school malt backbone. You're talking about old school 2-row, a little bit of crystal malt, nothing too crazy, but it's a bit more rich, even Maris Ottery. I bet you some of that's in here, to where it has almost American barley wine vibes. So think about this when you're talking about, what's the ABV on this, 7 and change? No, it's probably 8 or something. 6.5. It almost has kind of like a little American barley wine light kind of vibe going on, because the way the malt base works with it, and then when you throw that berry in there, it just comes up with a really interesting take on a West Coast IPA. I'm going to sit here and say this is West Coast through and through. Not really. I mean, if you're going to classify it anyway, you're going to classify this as West Coast just because how it drinks and how it comes off. But in the grand scheme of things, it is kind of like a hybrid of a bunch of different styles. A lot of West, a bit of East, a bit of Midwest, and just own kind of curveball. With that big berry component you see in a lot of these new school kind of IPAs, that's where this one really kind of sets itself apart in a very fun way. I mean, I dig what Ecliptic does, and some of their beers can be hit or misses. It's not like they're infallible, and most breweries aren't. But their IPAs, you know, they're very much kind of hit or miss. And when you see like a West Coast brewery come out with a beer and they call it a West Coast IPA, even though they call it a bit of new school in the description, you expect it to be kind of very traditional, kind of old school. It's not the case here, but I dig the cut they took at it. It's very, very fun beer. Let's put it that way. I mean, Mount Rushmore status. It's not really going to make it on any of those lists, but it's a fun beer. And fun beers are always the best kind of beers, because fun beer is fun. And usually their price point is pretty good. I know they can be had, so yeah, there you go. Little review on the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, if you've had this, that's the most important part. Please let me know. I really want to know what you guys think, especially if you've had this specific beer, or what your thoughts are when it comes to Ecliptic and how they do things when it comes to their kind of IPAs, hazy IPAs, or beers in general. That's the conversation I want to have. What do you guys think? There you go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a fun beer right now. Cheers, y'all.